Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. On today's episode, I'm here at the world-renowned Festival of Arts, Pageants and Masters, in front of my art booth to talk about a month on the wrist with my brand new Rolex Explorer 40, reference number 224270. My name is Shane Walls and I make my living as a fine art nature photographer and explorer. I've come to truly depend on my tool watches when I'm out in the field. Whether it be timing my hikes or timing my camera exposures, tool watches are an intricate tool in my photography process. And these episodes on this channel are based on my amateur watch collecting journey as I search for that ultimate tool watch. Okay, here we go. Talking watches, one of my favorite parts of the day. Now, it was a little bit stuffy in my studio this morning with all the lights, so I thought, why not? I'm spending all my time down here anyway. Let's get out, fresh air in Laguna Beach. Now, I apologize, I haven't been uploading all that often recently. This is my busy time. As you can see, I'm doing art shows. This is the third art show I'm working on this summer. So here we are, but this gave me the idea of, hey, I'm spending most of my time down here kind of as my job. So let's talk about a month on the wrist with me here at this art show with my Rolex Explorer 40. I'm going to keep this video brief as we are in an open art show, so I apologize for all the noises, everything you hear in the background. If the poor sound quality is bothering you, just hold on just a little bit. We move back into the studio here shortly. Also too, I know some of you love these update videos on my watches, some of you hate it. So we'll just run through the basics of owning a Rolex Explorer 40 on the wrist for a month. Let's jump into it. If you want to see more about this out in the wilderness, you know, what it was designed to do, go back to one of my older videos, my first impressions video. It was up in the Eastern Sierras and I was treating it like a true tool watch. This video is gonna be more about me and an everyday working with the watch on my wrist. We're gonna be kind of 12 hours on the wrist, 12 hours off the wrist. Jumping into what I think is the most important thing about a watch, especially a tool watch, is its accuracy. And after 30 days of testing this, right now after 30 days, it's only 4 seconds fast. Averaging about a second fast a week. That's pretty remarkable, but that's not quite the whole story. Jumping into that, it averages about a half second off per day. Sometimes, and this is different than all my other Rolex watches, sometimes it's a half second fast, sometimes it's a half second slow. But if you combine it all together, you get 4 seconds fast over 30 days. So I don't know what that says for the movement. It's extremely accurate, obviously, but it does waver back and forth between slow some days, over 24 hours, some over 24 hours, it's fast. But overall, it equates to a very accurate watch and 4 seconds fast over 30 days of measuring it. And again, that's me wearing it for about 12 hours a day, coming to these art shows, driving with it a lot, being here, walking around. I'm not really exercising with it on, just normal day, kind of sitting, quote unquote, at the office, and then 12 hours in the lockbox at home overnight. Jumping into the power reserve on this watch over the month. Now I've had it again a little bit longer in a month, so the last week I've been testing out the power reserve. Rolex rates it for 70 hours. Now if I fully manually wind the watch with the crown, I get about 74 hours of power reserve. So I took it out for a run to make sure it was fully charged by the motion on my wrist, and then it lasted 71 hours. So either way you wind this watch, it'll last you that 70 hours, even more than what Rolex quoted. So technically this watch is holding up very well in quote unquote everyday life. Okay, here we are back in the studio. That experiment didn't really work with the sound, especially when this happened. Yes, they decided to do some road work right in the middle of filming, as it always goes. So thank you so much for continuing to watch it. I'm so sorry these look so rushed together. Everything, we are so swamped right now. We're literally doing 14, 15-hour days with the art right now. And we're really trying to get these videos and this information to you about these amazing watches and how they are to wear, how accurate, everything about that. The photography here pays the bills. Our gallery pays these bills. It makes this YouTube channel possible. And we get this information out about these watches. We enjoy doing it, but it is when we have some free time, and it's sometimes like now, it's thrown together quickly. Thank you for sticking with this. I truly appreciate you for that. Thank you again. I can't thank you enough. Okay, so we're back to it now. The Rolex Explorer 40 is 4 seconds fast over 30 days. Its power reserve is better than advertised. Comfortability, that was the next one on the list. This watch is very comfortable due to its size and proportion. I would have to say the most comfortable watch in my collection. Maybe just the G-Shock might be a little bit more comfortable, but it's one of those types of watches that you just forget you have on. If that's a good thing or a bad thing, I've equated it to, it doesn't feel like a true tool watch because of its size and proportions, feels a little bit smaller. It does help in the way that you can wear it anywhere and be comfortable, whether it be hiking or with a suit and tie to a formal event. The only thing I do wish it had glide lock system. This would really add to it with a glide lock system, just for these hot days, hot weather, to be able to adjust, a bigger adjustment than the 1-2 millimeter that they do have. Just a little more adjustment would be very helpful. Speaking of proportions on this watch, I've seen so many different things online, YouTube, how big the diameter of this watch actually is. Now we know it's not a true 40 millimeter watch, but I've been seeing all the way from 37.9 all the way up to 40.2. So now let's truly determine the diameter of this Rolex 40. Metal, yeah, 36. I think people are getting a little confused on the movement size of this, not the actual diameter of the watch itself. So kind of, see, yeah, it's right. I mean, it's definitely not 40, but it's right at 30. It's pretty much 39 millimeters. I don't see where people are getting this 37 or 36. Well, not 36, but it's pretty much a 39 millimeter watch. It's not this crazy 38 like people are saying it is. It's right now, looking at it, it's pretty much 39 millimeters, which is a good size. It might even be, well, the diameter might be a little bit smaller than the original 39 that they took away a couple years ago, but with the fatter lugs and just, I think actually, it might be wider. I don't know what the older one is, but top to bottom, yeah, it's right about 47, 46, 47. It's about the same as the older generation. It just looks a little bit bigger. Side by side, the 40 does look a little bit bigger. Maybe the fatter lugs, heftier due to your lugs. Maybe the bigger taper. I'm not exactly sure, but it does feel a little bit bigger on the wrist than the 39 millimeter Rolex Explorer did. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the looks of the watch because that's personal opinion, personal taste. Real quick though, I think it's a gorgeous watch. I truly believe this is high horology. It's a beautiful, elegant watch. It's been interesting though, however, at the art show. Now with this YouTube channel and doing these art shows, I get a lot of compliments and questions about my watches. The Rolex Explorer 40, I've had 2 or 3 people over the last month ask about this watch, which again is very interesting in my mind because my Rolex Explorer 2 with the polar dial and my Rolex Submariner date, I've gotten a ton of questions about those watches, via it be out in the wild, people coming up to me, they know the channel, and at these art shows, they kind of know the channel, and since I use my watches for fine photography, there's a lot of questions about it. The Explorer 40, I've had little to no interaction with the public about this watch, which is a good thing in my mind. It really does fly under the radar. This simple, elegant design, mentioned over and over again, can do anything, but it also can fly under the radar. And it does look, you know, kind of like a Seiko, could be an Omega, could be a lot of other watches. So people don't pay much attention to it, at least in my experience over this last month being in these shows. People don't really notice it, or they don't say anything if they do notice it, which is nice that it does fly very well under the radar. Now, I'm not gonna lie, going into my watch box, the Rolex Explorer 40 might not always be my first pick. But I do, however, have to say, it's becoming more my daily wear, especially when I'm not traveling. The comfort, the proportions, the elegance, the simplicity of this utilitarian little watch, I have found over the last month to be perfection in a lot of ways. Again, it doesn't feel like a tool watch, even though it is, I know. It just has that refinement that every watch needs for every situation. And it's just been a great watch in that way that I can put it on every time, wherever I'm going. And that's been very nice about this watch. what's that cartoon, that steam engine, that train that always says, I can do it, I can do it. It feels kind of like this watch is something like that. Or is it a tugboat? Either way. That little idea that, hey, it comes in under the radar. It's not too many people talk about it, not too many people notice it. But it's that watch, every time I see it, I take notice of it. Every time I wear it, I take notice of it. And it just keeps, every day I wear it, it gets better and better and better. It's just that little watch that can. It can just do it all. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I apologize for the mess of this video. We're just trying to get you information, doing the best we can. I mean, it's 4 o'clock in the morning right now, or just about to be 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Also, which is the best Rolex tool watch? The Rolex Explorer 40, the Rolex Explorer 2, or the Rolex Submariner Date? We are filming those videos as we speak, and hopefully soon we'll have some of those start trickling on to this YouTube channel as we get filming and editing done on those. We'll give you that information, what we think. We're putting these watches through hell. It's pretty amazing actually too, the results we're getting. So stay tuned for those. Those will be coming out hopefully shortly. If you're in the Laguna Beach area, please come by the Festival of Arts, see my booth. We can talk art, we can talk watches, we can talk whatever you want. We've had a lot of people come visit. It's been very good to see you. Thank you for that. Oh, before I forget, a fun thing too, just in the art world. Go out and get your Professional Photography magazine. I was featured as a top artist in this month's issue. Very excited. Yeah, there's a whole 8, 9 pages about my artwork, so make sure to check that out. Thank you, PPA, Professional Photographers of America magazine. I was very honored to be part of it and be part of the organization, so thank you for that. And thank you again. I truly appreciate all those who've been watching, who put up with me, put up with our shenanigans here, and our videos aren't as fine-tuned or refined as other YouTube videos. I'm just trying to use these watches as they're intended to and pass that information on to you, because these are truly amazing watches and I enjoy wearing each and every one of them all the time. Thank you so much again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Cheers.